A very good evening and thank you for joining GBS News at 9. My name is Stephen George and our sign language interpreter tonight is Paul Madenge. Now, President William Ruto has officially opened the World Chambers Federation Africa Summit 2025 in Nairobi, emphasizing Kenya's commitment to create a more efficient and investor-friendly business environment. The president outlined key initiatives including the Unified Business Permit and the Hustler Fund aimed at easing the business process, boosting access to finance and promoting trade across Africa.
President William Ruto emphasized Kenya's commitment to streamlining business processes to foster a more efficient and investor-friendly environment. Speaking at the World Chambers Federation Africa Summit 2025 in Nairobi, he highlighted the government's collaboration with the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry to address entrepreneurs' concerns and enhance the ease of doing business.
County governments have and continue to play a crucial role. Together with the devolved chapters of the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce, counties must champion pro-business reforms, eliminate bureaucratic bottlenecks, and support local entrepreneurs. To encourage this, we are developing a county ease of doing business index to drive healthy competition, accountability, and progress.
Additionally, the government is investing in infrastructure, renewable energy and industrial parks to further boost trade and attract investment. He urged participants to leverage regional integration under the African Continental Free Trade Area and other trade agreements to strengthen Africa's role in global trade.
And as you're all aware, the Africa Continental Free Trade Area brings into being the largest single market of 1.4 billion people in 55 countries that actually came into force last year in June, creating the building blocks to have a strong, integrated, single market around our continent, which presents opportunity for business, for investment, and for trade.
At the summit, which is expected to host over 4,500 delegates, the president also outlined the government's focus on education, regional integration, and unlocking Africa's untapped resources, particularly minerals and energy.
Among the world's regions, Africa has every reason to be optimistic. Our potential is undeniable. We are the world's youngest continent, home to a growing population of well-educated, highly skilled young people. Our lands are rich in untapped mineral wealth, including those critical minerals that are essential for global industrial transition. We also possess the largest areas of uncultivated fertile land and the vast reserves of renewable energy.
He emphasized Kenya's commitment to deepening partnership aligned with its development goals, to reinforcing the role of chambers of commerce in bridging policy with enterprises.
In this journey, chambers of commerce will play an increasingly critical role. Kenya, for its part, is committed to remaining open for business, regionally engaged, and globally ambitious. Let us therefore move forward with shared purpose to unlock Africa's vast potential.
Triza Tiengo, GBS News.
Moving on swiftly, nominated member of parliament under the Orange Democratic Movement party ticket today was forced to apologize at the floor of the House for fighting with a former member of Senate and now a member of parliament for the East Africa Legislative Assembly at the parliamentary premises yesterday. The act, which is against the parliamentary rules, was condemned by the Speaker of the National Assembly as he cited several incidents which have occurred in the parliament breaking the rules, as Davis Karani reports.
I wish to go on record that I hold the dignity of this House and the public in high esteem, and I apologize and regret yesterday's unfortunate incident.
It was the first order of the day as the National Assembly started its plenary sittings today.
It is therefore regrettable that having been accorded such privileges, the Honorable Falhada conducted herself in an undignified manner. Honorable members, having reviewed the video and incident report, it's clear that the violent altercation between the Honorable Umulkhair MP and Honorable Falhada casts Parliament in bad light.
The Speaker, under the powers vested to him, offering a chance to the nominated member of the National Assembly, Honorable Umulkhair Harun, to apologize to the House for the unprofessional conduct that she was involved in yesterday, especially at the parliamentary premise.
So, Honorable Umulkhair, you now join the ignominious group of those, and the first woman to be involved in a violent altercation in Parliament. Of course, I have skipped Honorable Babo Wino and Jaguar had a violent confrontation and altercation in this House.
The lawmaker who engaged herself in a physical fight with the former senator and now member of parliament for the East African Legislative Assembly, Honorable Iman Falhad, as a video which is believed to have been recorded by Honorable Mpuri Aburi, who was at the scene when the MP turned the lawmaking premise into a field of physical fights.
I am short-sighted, so when I was in the middle of the scuffle, I noticed Honorable Mpuri was recording the video. And immediately after the incident, I approached him and asked him not to release the video because he was the only person recording. So I wonder what his intention was, and I wonder if this was a targeted attack and if he was part of the incident, because the other lady was an outsider from Parliament. I did not anticipate a fight, Honorable Speaker. If you saw the video, I was in a white dress. Somebody in white does not come to fight.
There is no scientific evidence to that.
Mr. Speaker, it is in the doctrines of the female dressing that we wear white to show peace.
The parliamentary building and its surroundings is a respected area and secluded only for the parliamentarians to have a conducive environment for lawmaking decisions, representation and oversight. What does this mean to the common viewer? Davis Karani, GBS News, Parliamentary Building, Nairobi.
Madeira Member of Parliament today had to run for his safety during the burial ceremony of Anne Wanjiru, a chairlady of a choir that was formed by the former Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua. The lawmaker representing Gachagua in the National Assembly was forced to run for safety after pro-Gachagua leaders stormed the podium while he was addressing the mourners while accusing the former second-in-command for not neglecting his chairlady.
Hiyo ndio ukweli na ukweli wa mambo. Acha fadha nimalize. Acha nimalize fadha. Acha nimalize. Ukweli wa mambo. Na ile acha nimalize fadha. Na mimi ni wa Madeira, hakuna mahali mnaweza nipeleka. Ukweli ni kwamba Rigathi Gachagua hajasaidia huyu mama. Na hiyo ndio ukweli. Rigathi Gachagua hajasaidia huyu chairlady. Na kama amesaidia, akuje aseme hapa amemsaidia wengine. Rigathi Gachagua ametumia huyu mama na hajamsaidia na kitu. Na sisi kama watu wa Madeira hatuungi Rigathi Gachagua mkono, sababu aliachilia huyu mama, alimtumia na kumwachilia. Na hiyo ndio ukweli. Hiyo ndio ukweli. Na sikize, sisi kama watu wa Madeira hatuungi msimamo wa Rigathi Gachagua. Hiyo ndio tunasema.
To the next story, in an exciting development for both students and residents of Laikipia County, the Safaricom Foundation has officially opened a state-of-the-art ICT hub in Wiyumirere Technical Vocational and Training Center. The new 3.5 million shillings facility is set to enhance education and offer vital digital resources to the community.
Students at Umireri Technical Vocational and Training Center and local residents in Laikipia County now have access to a new 3.5 million ICT hub funded by the Safaricom Foundation. The fully equipped hub features computers, a printer, projector, and other essential tools aimed at enhancing digital learning and providing residents access to vital online services.
Unazidua ile laboratory ambayo ina tarakilishi za kusoma wanafunzi, za kusomesha wanafunzi wetu, mambo ya kuweza kuingia kwenye mitandao na pia kujiwezesha kupata zile nafasi za kazi kwenye mitandao.
Safaricom Foundation Chairman Joe Ogutu highlighted that the ICT hub will enhance technical courses and provide students with up-to-date skills.
Our technical students that go through our various technical training colleges need to have those skills so that they can access the most latest information about the skills that they're being trained for. And also our instructors have to be up to the mark in terms of their digital skills, because the future is digital.
On his part, Laikipia Governor Joshua Irungu emphasized the ICT hub will also help residents access government services online and explore opportunities like online jobs and agricultural marketing.
Kuwezesha wananchi wa hapa hata kuuza mazao yao kupitia online na hata kufanya zile biashara za digital economy. Kwa hivyo tunashukuru sana kwa sababu wananchi wetu na vijana wetu watapata biashara, wananchi wetu, vijana wetu watapata hata kazi zile zina advertisewa na serikali na even NGO kupitia online.
This initiative is part of Safaricom's broader investment in TVET institutions across Kenya, including Nairobi, Isiolo, and Marsabit, to integrate technology into education, improving both learning outcomes for students and teaching methods for instructors. Elvin Muyodi, GBS News.
The late Sylvia Kemunto's family is demanding answers and accountability after the brutal murder of their 19-year-old daughter. A student at Multimedia University, Sylvia Kemunto was found dead in a university hostel on March 30th. Now her family, through lawyers Shadrack Omboy and Dunstan Omari and public interest legal group Sheriam Tani, is giving the university a 7-day ultimatum. The family's formal letter to the Vice-Chancellor details disturbing allegations. A post-mortem conducted by Chief Government Pathologist Dr. Johansen Oduor confirmed Sylvia was strangled. The prime suspect, fellow student Philip Eric Mutinda, allegedly gained unauthorized access to a hostel. The family alleges Sylvia had previously reported incidents of harassment by the suspect, but the university failed to act. They are accusing the administration of ignoring her pleas for help. Sheriam Tani has warned that if the university fails to respond within 7 days, they will pursue legal action. This includes filing a petition with the Commission for University Education to revoke the university's charter under Section 22 of the Universities Act. Well, it is time for us to take a short break. Keep your feedback streaming into our social media platform at GBS TV Africa. The SMS line is 21144. We'll be right back.
Hello everyone. I'm so much thankful to have this precious time to actually share with you the word of God. When I was growing up and when I was attending church, my former church, I was taught that, although I'm saved, but as I, when I commit sin, I become a sinner. And then when I become a sinner, again, I repent my sin every day for it to be forgiven, so that I can be assured of salvation. But when I was living a life of trying to confess my sin each and every day, and believing that I'm a sinner, actually I could not have an assurance of my salvation in my heart. So I thought And I was taught that my sin is, the deeds which I do outwardly. Until the time I came to realize, for sure, I'm a person who cannot really do good. The problem is not the deeds which I'm doing outwardly. The problem is the core. The core of my heart itself is evil. Jesus, what he did, he lived among us. And then he died on the cross because of our sin. And then he rose again. The reason why now he did not just resurrect and go to heaven, it is because of, to meet the disciple and to witness that, sin and death could not have any power in his life. He wanted to manifest that eternal life.
How to avoid food poisoning. Tips to prevent foodborne illness. You'll need sealable containers, a cutting board, antibacterial soap, lemon juice or vinegar. Step 1. Check the dates of the food products before buying and before cooking. Step 2. Store food in the recommended temperatures to keep them fresh. Step 3. Discard any food that smells or looks questionable. Step 4. Separate meat and vegetables at storage. Step 5. Use plastic chopping boards and not wooden ones. Bacteria can get trapped in wooden boards. Step 6. Wash your hands thoroughly with antibacterial soap before handling food or after handling meat. Step 7. Refrigerate leftovers within 2 hours of cooking.
Everywhere, GBS.
And welcome back. Wajir County seems to have made some strides in managing the Kala Azar disease that has so claimed the lives of 29 patients. Governor Ahmed Abdullahi says that the county hospitals are now discharging more patients than they are admitting, as collaboration between the national government health officials and the county bear fruits.
The whole blood, give them what they want.
Speaking in Wajir, where he received a blood machine that helps in investigating the specific parts of the blood from a patient suffering from Kala Azar, Governor Abdullahi said the setup of a satellite blood bank has contributed immensely to managing the disease, which has affected over 600 people since its outbreak in September last year.
Wajir, with the equipment that they received today, makes the first county in Kenya to offer what we refer to as apheretic platelet services. Apheretic is a process that donors donate only what the patients require, and that makes the service safe and efficient. Additionally, the county now has all the components of blood that is required for transfusion purposes to save the lives of our people. And the capacity the county has today can serve even the adjacent counties like Mandera and Garissa, while the systems are put into place.
The Ministry of Health has also sent 3 mobile laboratories that will patrol the most affected areas of Eldas and Wajir West, testing patients who cannot make the long trips to hospitals with the hopes of arresting the disease. Today's function saw the head of blood services, Mamo Umoro, at the Kenya Blood and Transplant Services deliver to the county equipment that will quicken the process of testing blood. This is Jeff Abuki, GBS TV News.
Moving swiftly, the government is urging citizens to be careful and vigilant of your surroundings and keep it clean. Always, it swings into action to deal with cholera outbreak that has now claimed lives of 5 people countrywide. Consequently, community health promoters will distribute water cleaning tablets to areas that are greatly affected, noting a departure from basic hygiene practices has contributed an upsurge of the disease. Speaking in Kirinyaga, Public Health and Professional Standards PS Mary Mudhoni said simple practices such as boiling water and frequent hand washing have been abandoned, hence the threat that is also in Nairobi and has claimed a life. The CHPS rather, will play a critical role in offering education on keeping cholera at bay, especially during the rainy season where there is a stagnant water. The distribution of tablets is a stopgap measure, but the government wants you to keep your environments clean by minding where you stay. The PS has also given fresh statistics that show over 70 people are affected. The PS has also alluded to a return of the Ipuka Uchafu campaign that has aims at driving Kenyans to be mindful of the environment and have regular cleaning exercises. An 11-story building has been bombed down by the Kenya Defence Forces officers in Mombasa today. The tall building had begun to sink, hence becoming a health hazard to the locals. Mombasa Governor Abdul Swamad Nasir had given notice to the locals to vacate the area to allow for demolition of the structure. GBS reporter Victor Odun compiled the following report from Mombasa.
Loud bang from this tall, towering building being demolished in Mombasa town today confirms that actions actually speak louder than words. This is going by the notice given yesterday by Mombasa Governor Abdul Swamad Nasir for the locals to vacate the scene and allow the Kenya Defence Force officers to carry out the exercise.
Right now, what is at hand is to make sure that we do this in the safest way possible. We have taken all necessary precautions. We have done whatever needs to be done, and we're just asking everyone. Tunamwomba na tunamsihi kila mmoja, narejelea tena ya kwa ile starehe na raha ambayo kwamba uko nao kukaa katika sehemu yako ya biashara ama katika nyumba kwa muda wa masaa halisi yale ambayo kwamba yatakaweza kutokea.
The officers had hectic time keeping the locals at bay. According to the governor, so far no casualty has been reported. He continued to urge the local people to remain patient a bit. Meanwhile, he promised that the county government of Mombasa will clear all the debris and resume reconstruction of the destroyed infrastructure.
This is team leadership, teamwork that we've been able to do. And yes, we haven't had 0 casualties. The building is down as planned. We had 17 ambulances, we had hospitals ready. For now, tupeni nafasi tu ya muda takriban saa moja, ikizidi sana masaa mawili, everyone will go back to their houses. The team in charge is already making preparations. Wakipatiwa go ahead, hii area kutakuwa na excavator leo kuanza kuondoa huu mzigo wote, na nia na madhumuni ni kwa hatutaki kupaacha hivi. Immediately we start rebuilding our city.
Victor Dun GBS News hot now.
Public Health and Professional Standards PS Mary Mudhoni says 16 new Kalaza infections have been reported in the last 24 hours, with the death toll now hitting 33. PS Mudhoni also says a team from the Health Ministry have been sent on ground to work closely with the county government to deal with the disease that broke out in September last year. Yesterday, Governor Ahmed Abdullahi of Wajir County also said there are efforts to contain the disease as they are now discharging more people than they are admitting, with the support from the national government.
The cost of this equipment size is expensive. One test, one donor is 45,000. This gentleman then get platelet from the donor. So this is apheresis is about that, and sometimes they need special platelet for one. But within our network, we managed to get more equipment. Among the equipment, one of them is only available in Wajir County. It's not available.
We still have Kalaza in the northeastern counties, Wajir leading and Marsabit. Already we have 1,041 cases. And just last night, we had 16 new cases that have been discovered. We already have 33 deaths. And this is very sad. However, we have been able to enhance our surveillance in Garissa County. We have been able to send help. We were able to send mobile labs, 3 mobile labs in Wajir County and 1 that went to Marsabit County. Our support staff are on the ground and they are coordinating together with the county government and the county staff, the public health staff. We have been able to spray households across the county, and we equally have been able to support through the help of our development partners. We have drugs that have been able to be taken there, the help of development partners, and also the National Treasury, which has supported with some amount.
Farmers from Baragwi coffee factories in Kirinyaga County are celebrating a landmark payout for the 2024-2025 season. With an average of 133 per kilo, the record payout, totaling over 11 million across 12 wet mills, was driven by farmers' dedication to quality, timely fertilizer access, and the installation of solar dryers that enhanced the drying process.
Farmers at Baragwi Coffee Factory in Gichungu, Kirinyaga County are celebrating after the 2024-2025 coffee cherry payouts reached records high, with an average of 133 Kenya shillings per kilogram. Gachami Wet Mill led with the highest payout of 145 shillings and 10 cents, while the lowest Rombiti Wet Mill received 118 shillings and 80 cents. The total payout across all 12 wet mills amounted to over 11 million Kenya shillings.
In terms of payments, the factory that did well was Gasami factory with a payment rate of 145 shillings and 10 cents. The lowest is Ruabiti with a payment of 118 and 80 cents. Our average rate is 133 shillings. We produced last year, the volume that we are paying is 11,908,800.
This success is attributed to farmers' dedication, training and improved agricultural practices, as well as timely fertilizer availability and the installation of solar dryers that accelerated the drying process, enabling earlier deliveries to millers.
We have improved in terms of grains because farmers were able to apply good agricultural practices in their farms. They have applied fertilizers on time. Farming inputs were delivered to the farmers on time, and so timely application in their farms made us to achieve what we have achieved. We have been able to achieve better results this year, and we have been able to pay earlier because we constructed solar dryers in our factories, which helped us in drying our coffee. So we were able to deliver our coffee to the mill by February this year.
Cyrus Chomba, manager of Baragwi Coffee Factory Society, commended the farmers for their efforts and emphasized the importance of maintaining quality to ensure continued high payouts.
What I would like to do is to urge our farmers to go back to their farms, produce quality and quantity coffee, so that anytime we pay them better payments like this, they can enjoy more from their sweat.
While expressing satisfaction with the improved payments, Farmer James Nyaga urged the government to subsidize farm inputs and avoid mobile money payments as many farmers rely on sacco loans for emergencies.
Mkulima ataweza kulipwa na simu. Ati ile kawa kidogo imeuzwa tulipwe na simu. Hiyo tunaona haiwezi saidia mkulima. Kwa hiyo tunataka kuuliza minister wetu wa cooperative, kwa sababu ni mzee amezoea kwa kazi, atuangalie hiyo ndio tulipiwa kwa SACCOS, kwa sababu hizo SACCOS ndizo tunaenda tunakopa pesa, tunapatiwa pesa mingi na tunajisaidia nayo.
Tizatiengo, GBS News.
Just days after another devastating blaze ripped through Gikomba, the government has vowed to get to the bottom of what they believe is a deliberate pattern of destruction. Deputy President Kithure Kindiki, speaking to traders who lost everything in the latest Gikomba inferno, minced no words. He declared the fires are not accidental, but a calculated and recurring threat to the livelihood of thousands. Kindiki revealed that President William Ruto has already ordered a comprehensive investigation by security agencies. They are submitting a report outlining long-term solutions to these rampant fires, specifically targeting Gikomba and toy markets. But the government's response isn't just about investigation. Kindiki announced plans to construct at least 10 modern high-rise markets across Nairobi, including Gikomba, Toi, and Mudhurwa. This, he says, is part of the Kenya Kwanza administration's commitment to modernize trade and provide traders with dignified working conditions.
Sasa tuite rais wakati Kimani Ichung'wah, kiongozi wa wengi katika bunge letu la taifa, ako na kazi nyingi, lakini wakati amesikia
tuko na mpango ya masoko, ni ukiweza tuweze kusaidia hawa watu, hata yake ni kufanya hii, kutana na nyinyi, asikize mashida zenyu.
Na wakati Mheshimiwa Njagwa, nimesema ni mtu msumbufu sana, lakini uzuri wa Njagwa asumbui mambo yake personal, anasumbua mambo ya wananchi. Na yeye simu kama 100 one day, na ana text 50 SMS. Sasa unasema na yote hapo hakuna kitu personal. Marigiti na mimi mtu ya mkono ya rais nimemsindikisha. Alafu rafiki ya serikali ya Kenya, kwenda mjipange, mkikaka nitatuma salamu nyingine kwa hii group. But the most important going forward for Gikomba, I think the toy market and a few other markets that have had repeated incidents of fire, we must go to the root cause, and therefore the president has directed the relevant agencies to investigate and the causes of these fires. It doesn't make sense to imagine that all these things are accidents, because they keep on happening year in, year out. And therefore, that work is ongoing to make sure that we get into the...
Well, it is time for us to take a short break. Keep your feedback streaming into our social media platform at GBS TV Africa. We'll be right back.
Welcome to
Fun
Dance Class. Today we will continue learning about Jingle Bell Rock. Friends, first you cross your arm and put it on top of your head, and as you go in left side, you open it, then you come back to your place.
And then you make your leg 90 degrees, and then as you put your legs until 90 degrees, you need to jump a bit. 1, 2. Then as you jump a bit, you need to stretch your hands downwards.
My name is Imagatoru. I'm a model, a commercial model to be precise. And I've been asked this question, like, is model an art? And yes, modeling is an art. Because there are different products that you're supposed to promote or design, and you have to have that skill of you promoting that design or that product. So how you walk, how you talk, how you present yourself, like how you pose for a picture or pose for an item in your mepewa, or how you drive into a place in your mepewa. So you have to have that art or that skill for you to actually deliver what they want you to deliver. So yeah, modeling is an art.
So today's topic is Rising Stars, young people who create, influence, and inspire. So
on an honest note, creating is hard work, and there are people who I see their work and they're constantly pushing themselves.
Okay.
Like wanajipush, kujipush, like they're putting creativity up top over there.
I think no one also prepares you for the fact that the better you become.
The networking is also very good. You see, there are people who have passion for, you know, videography, creating videos, editing. There are people passionate about that. If you are someone who talks and you meet people and you love people, you'll definitely meet someone who's just waiting to shoot you.
But also in terms of what I put out, it goes back to what are your values? What are your values? What are your beliefs? So as much as this is trending, yes, that is trending. Does it align with your values? Does it align with your beliefs?
You can be a star without the star position. Si lazima ukue hapo mbele ya watu. Si lazima wewe ndo ukue star, ndo ukue star. Hata ukiwa hapa chini, wewe bado ni star. And as she has said, discipline is a big thing.
Everywhere, GBS.
And welcome back now to international news. The United Nations marked the 31st commemoration of the International Day of Reflection on the 1994 genocide in Rwanda. Secretary General Antonio Guterres called for global action to prevent future atrocities, while Rwanda's UN ambassador urged that never again be a guiding principle. This year's reflection comes amid ongoing violence in DRC, where the M23 militia continues its rampage.
The United Nations marked the 31st commemoration of the International Day of Reflection on the 1994 genocide in Rwanda. Over 100 days, extremist Hutu forces killed an estimated 800,000 Tutsi and moderate Hutu. In his address, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres reminded the world that no society is immune from such violence, urging all nations to join the Genocide Convention and protect their populations from crimes against humanity.
This terrible period of Rwanda's history reminds us that no society is immune from hate and horror. And as we reflect on how these crimes came about, we must also reflect on resonance with our own times.
Rwanda's UN Ambassador Robert Kainamura emphasized that never again must go beyond symbolism and must guide policies and reflect collective responsibility.
The genocide against the Tutsi was not Rwanda's tragedy alone, but a haunting reminder of what happens when we fail to act. The genocide prevention is a shared responsibility, because combating genocide ideology cannot be the burden of survivors or affected nations alone. It stays, in the end, our collective imperative and responsibility.
This year also marks the 100th anniversary of Rwanda's Remembrance Day Kwaibuka, meaning remembrance in Kinyarwanda, a powerful reminder to honor the lives lost and ensure such atrocities are never repeated. This year's commemoration is also shadowed by the ongoing violence In Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, where the M23 militia continues to terrorize towns like Bukavu and Goma. The crisis serves as a plain reminder that the fight for peace and justice continues, and the promise of never again must be upheld through action. Elvin Muyodi, GBS News.
Moving on swiftly, Hezbollah has signaled its willingness to engage in talks regarding its weapons in exchange for Israel's withdrawal from key positions in South Lebanon. This comes as Lebanon's president plans discussions on Hezbollah's arms, with some ministers calling for a clear timetable for disarmament. Here is Modessin.
The issue of Hezbollah's weapon has been at the forefront of Lebanon's political landscape since the fallout of the war with Israel, which severely weakened the militant group. Despite the ongoing ceasefire, Israel's refusal to pull out from the 5 key locations in southern Lebanon has created issues in ceasefire negotiations. Hezbollah, backed by Iran, maintains that its arms are necessary for Lebanon's defense against Israeli aggression. Still, the group is reportedly open to negotiating their future if Israel vacates these contested areas and ceases its airstrikes. The call for disarmament has intensified not only due to regional instability, but also due to the increasing pressure from international actors like the US, who are pushing for Hezbollah's disarmament. The Trump administration has stated that Hezbollah's weapons are a threat to Lebanon's sovereignty and regional stability. The news of disarming weapons comes after a group of militants in Iraq, which is also backed by Iran, are also willing to disarm their weapons. The delicate balance between security and sovereignty continues to be a source of tensions, and the coming weeks may determine whether diplomacy can overcome years of divisions and unrest. This is Abdihamid Ali, GBS News.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has confirmed the capture of 2 Chinese men fighting for Russia in eastern Ukraine, a development that could escalate tensions between Ukraine, Russia, and China. The discovery has prompted Ukraine to demand a response from China, given China's diplomatic support for Russia in the ongoing conflict. Meanwhile, Russian investigators have launched an inquiry into the alleged killing of 8 Russian civilians by Ukrainian soldiers in the Kursk region. This comes after Russians reclaimed the territory was briefly controlled by Ukraine earlier this year. Here's more on the story.
President Zelensky shared shocking news, revealing that Ukrainian forces had taken 2 Chinese men into custody, with indications that more Chinese nationals might be involved in the fighting. Although China has been a close diplomatic ally of Russia, it has not publicly provided direct military support. Zelensky implied that Russia's engagement of Chinese nationals, along with other countries like North Korea, signals that President Putin is unwilling to seek a peaceful resolution to end the war. Ukraine has not disclosed whether these individuals were acting on Chinese orders, but their involvement could complicate efforts for peace negotiations.
We captured Chinese fighters in the territory of Ukraine. Ukrainians entered battles with 6 Chinese fighters. 2 were captured. There are documents and passports. There are even credit cards. These are Chinese citizens.
Ukraine has summoned China's diplomatic representative to demand an explanation of the situation. US officials have expressed concern over the reports, although they have not verified the claims. Zelensky urges the US to take a stronger stance against Russia, highlighting the need for increased cooperation between the US and Ukraine in the peace process. The Russian Investigative Committee revealed that they'll investigate an incident that occurred in April 2025 when Ukrainian forces allegedly shelled the Kursk area, killing 6 people. The investigation also includes 2 additional deaths in the same village from March 2025, along with reports of looting by Ukrainian soldiers. This development adds to the broader context of alleged war crimes committed by both sides. Additionally, Ukraine carried out a large-scale drone strike on Russia overnight, leading to disruptions in air travel and causing evacuation in the southern Rostov region on Wednesday morning. Late on Tuesday, Russian forces launched massive drone strike on eastern Ukraine, resulting in fires and at least 22 injuries. The attack targeted multiple areas, with severe damage reported in the Donetsk region. Russia has accused Ukraine of violating the temporary ceasefire by targeting Russian energy facilities. These recent developments in the Russia-Ukraine war shows a bleak narrative that the three-year war is far from over. This is Abdi Hamid Ali, GBS News.
President Donald Trump has signed a series of executive orders aimed at revitalizing the U.S. coal industry, reversing years of decline driven by cheaper natural gas and renewable energy sources. The orders include measures to prevent coal plant closures and boost coal production, with the administration framing the move as a way to bring jobs back to the industry. However, the plan has sparked criticism from environmental groups who argue it will harm efforts to combat climate change.
Today, we're taking historic action to help American workers, miners, families, and consumers. And we're going to put the miners back to work. And I said I was going to do this, and I've said it loud and clear, and it's time to do it.
President Donald Trump signed a series of executive orders aimed at reviving the United States coal industry, which has seen a significant decline in recent years due to competition from natural gas and renewable energy sources. The orders include measures to prevent coal plant closures, utilize the Defense Production Act to boost coal output, and explore classifying metallurgical coal as a critical mineral to unlock additional federal support. Additionally, the administration is lifting a moratorium on new coal leasing on federal lands to encourage increased extraction.
Now, under the executive order that I will sign in a few moments, we're slashing unnecessary regulations that targeted the beautiful clean coal. We will rapidly expedite leases for coal mining on federal land, and we'll streamline permitting. We will end the government bias against coal, and we're going to unlock the sweeping authorities of Defense Production Act, the Defense Production Act, to turbocharge coal mining.
These actions are positioned as a way to bring back jobs to the struggling coal workforce, which has shrunk from 70,000 to 40,000 over the past decade. Coal producers have welcomed the efforts, with the stock of major coal companies seeing a boost, while environmental groups have sharply criticized the orders, citing concerns over coal's impact on climate change and public health. Triza Tiengo, GBS News.
A lawsuit has been filed against Palestinian-American businessman named Bashar Masri, alleging his involvement in providing assistance to Hamas militants during the October 7th attacks on Israel. In a bold move, Indonesia has announced its readiness to temporarily shelter Palestinians affected by the ongoing conflict in Gaza. The Indonesian president confirmed the first wave of 1,000 evacuees as he embarks on a diplomatic mission to the Middle East. At least 26 Palestinians were killed in an Israeli airstrike that targeted a residential building in the neighborhood of Gaza City. The attack left dozens more injured, with many feared trapped beneath the rubble. Abdi Hamid Ali has more.
The lawsuit against Bashar Masri is the first of its kind in accusing a U.S. citizen of aiding Hamas during the attacks, which resulted in the death of over 1,200 Israelis, including more than 40 Americans. It specifically targets properties Masri owned and developed, claiming that Hamas used these locations to conceal tunnels. The plaintiffs assert that Masri's businesses even provided electricity to the tunnels through solar power installations, further supporting Hamas's operations. Masri has strongly denied the accusations, calling the lawsuit baseless. His office maintained that he has dedicated his career to the development and humanitarian work and has never been involved in any unlawful activities. Meanwhile, Indonesian President Prabowo emphasized that Indonesia is prepared to offer refuge to 1,000 wounded Palestinians until they fully recover from their injuries. he instructed Indonesia's foreign minister to work with Palestinian officials and other relevant parties to arrange for the evacuation.
We have ordered the evacuation of 1,000 victims in the first batch under one condition, that everybody should agree they will be in the country temporarily.
Indonesia is one of the countries that strongly disagreed with Trump's controversial proposal of displacing Gazans. Today, an airstrike hit an apartment, killing at least 26 Palestinians. Emergency teams continue to search for survivors, but many victims remain unaccounted for. The renewed violence has escalated since Israel resumed airstrikes, with at least 1,400 Palestinians reported dead in the past few weeks. A total of 50,800 Palestinians were killed since October 2023, leaving many to wonder how long this cycle of violence will persist. This is Abdihamid Ali, GBS News.
It's time for your most favorite segment of the show, the sports news. Let's get sporty. Paris Saint-Germain coach Louis Enrique has downplayed his team's favourite tag ahead of their Champions League quarter-final against Aston Villa. Despite PSG's dominance, Enrique knows Villa, led by Unai Emery, will provide a tough challenge, especially with the 7-match Premier League winning streak. Villa's tactical flexibility and the form of goalkeeper Emi Martinez add to the difficulty for PSG, who will also be missing captain Mohannes.
Paris Saint-Germain coach Luis Enrique has downplayed his team's status as favourites ahead of their Champions League quarter-final against Aston Villa. Despite PSG's domestic dominance and recent success, Enrique stressed the match will be challenging for both sides.
I think we are favourites just as we were in the previous round against Liverpool, where all the books said we had no options or few options to advance. There are no favourites in this stage in football. There are 8 teams that, if they are in this phase, it is because they deserved it. 8 teams that can move the next phase. And the road is full of eliminated favourite teams. So we are going to do what we need to win the game and the tie on the pitch, which is really difficult.
Meanwhile, Barcelona held their final training session ahead of the UEFA Champions League quarter-final first leg against Borussia Dortmund. Coach Hansi Flick mentioned that his team is fully prepared for the match against Dortmund.
No, I think we must prepare well for this match against a team that did very well in their last games. This is what it is about. Of course, I appreciate Niko Kovac a lot. He is a fantastic person and a great coach. I am very happy to see him again, but for sure we will prepare this game very well.
This will be the second meeting between the two sides this season, following their previous Champions League encounter on December 11th, which saw Barcelona win 3-2. Elvin Muyodi, GBS Sports.
We have come to the end of the news bulletin. It is always a pleasure having you on board. Let's do this again, same time, same channel. My name is Stephen George. Our sign language interpreter tonight has been Paul Madenge. Good night.
Everywhere, GBS.